Good evening and welcome to another episode of Breaking News. It is March 12th, and if you are watching, I do apologize for a few minutes delay there getting sorted out here with some technical difficulties on my side. But welcome to this episode of Breaking News, where we will be interviewing our first Romansh speaker of our District 109, a wonderful guest I have tonight for you, and thinking about what's happening around our district at the moment. We really are in contest season, and perhaps you are a winner advancing from club to area, and soon we will start to see our division contests. Of course, these are all heading towards our district conference, which will take place in May this year. So hopefully you are on the trail towards glory and fabulous prizes at maybe area or division level. Wherever you're at, let's hope you're having a fine competition season. And the competition season is not just about those, of course, who are actually competing, but there's a whole team involved. So I'll be helping my division director, or area director, I should say, Zhao, next week with our area contest. And I think we'll be running a couple of areas on that day. And I'll be Zoom rooming, I'll be helping to set up, doing what I can to support that contest as well. So maybe you, like me, have also experienced what that might feel like. And so really join the team, be part of the experience. The whole competition idea that I'm sure when it came about some many years ago now was really to bring together that whole spirit of competition, but also of teamwork, of leadership, of being a contest chair, doing something different. Now let's actually move towards meeting with our guest for this evening. So tonight we have a special Toastmaster, a distinguished Toastmaster. I don't want to tell too much about his journey because he will share his story with us. But please welcome to Breaking News, Toastmaster Remo, our first Romanish speaker. Welcome, Remo.
Yes, hi David. Thank you for having me tonight in your show in the Breaking News. I'm very pleased to be here.
Yes, thank you for joining us. So to help our viewers watching on live or watching on later, just tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Yes, and I will start with a short introduction in Romansh, my mother tongue. So, bună seara, cars Toastmasters. Bună seara, prețiau David. Bună seara, cars hosts. Eu sunt il Remo de la Svizzera in Distinguished Toastmaster Cacioncio Romansh. Yes, basically, I just gave a welcome to you and all fellow Toastmasters and guests that are watching us tonight.
Yes.
And I mentioned that I'm a Romansh-speaking person and also a distinguished Toastmaster.
Yeah, wonderful. And so the Romansh language is from in and around Switzerland, if I understand correctly.
Correct. Yes, it's basically we have 4 official languages in Switzerland: German, French, Italian, and Romansh. So Romansh is a minority language spoken by 40 to 50,000 persons.
Wow.
And it's in one corner of Switzerland, basically in the eastern part of the Swiss Alps. You still find areas and valleys where Romansh is spoken. Like my hometown, Briegels, a small village of 700 people, which is, but where basically the daily language is really Romansh.
Wonderful. Wow. So you grew up speaking Romansh then, Remo?
Yes. And I spoke it for, let's say, the first 10 years, I only spoke Romansh. Then we learned German at school. And so on. Yeah. But I still use Romansh when I speak to my daughters, of course, to my family. But the language I'm using with my 2 daughters, they are 8 and 10 years old, is Romansh. While my wife speaks Swiss German with them, and so they grew up bilingual.
Bilingual, wonderful. And will they learn? I mean, we're speaking English now, and thank you for speaking English with me.
Sure.
Will they also learn English at another point, perhaps in life?
They already started. We did send them to a bilingual kindergarten and daycare, where they at least had one person who solely communicated in English, and the other people there spoke German.
Wonderful. I mean, language is really what we celebrate in Toastmasters in our District 109. And this was all the more reason when our PQD reached out and said, we know Remo, he's a Romansh speaker. We think the only Romansh Toastmaster at the moment. Would you also agree that you're the only person speaking this language, your language?
I wouldn't exclude that there's somebody else around, but I haven't met any other Romansh-speaking person in any Toastmaster club I visited.
Right. So there's a call already to any other Toastmasters out there who also speak Romansh. Please contact Remo. It would be amazing, I think, at some point to have a meeting or part of a meeting, if there was even at least one other speaker that you could give a speech all in Romansh and then have an evaluation in maybe 2 languages, but certainly, maybe even a personal feedback that everyone could witness in Romansh as well. We had, formerly in Austria, we had Hungarian as one of our languages, of course, when we're part of a different part of the district. And so at times, I remember our Hungarian colleagues preparing for further advancement, but at club level, no one else spoke Hungarian, but it was beautiful to listen to. So a little bit later, I'd love to ask for a quick lesson in Romansh. Maybe there's a couple of phrases that you could teach me, but tell us more, Remo, about who you are. So, I mean, we had a bit of a chat beforehand. Obviously, you're in Switzerland. But yeah, tell me a little bit about how you got into Toastmasters, but a bit more about yourself as well.
Yes, I'm happy to do so. So I already disclosed and mentioned that I'm a father to 2 girls, 8 and 10 years old. I'm married. I do live in Zurich, and I've been living here since since the year 2000, with a short interruption where I did spend 3.5 years in Singapore.
Good.
And basically, I went to Singapore to join my current employer, UBS, a large bank here in Switzerland. I spent 3.5 years, as mentioned, in Singapore, and then 2010 I came back to Switzerland, and I'm still employed or still working with UBS.
Okay.
And basically, why I mentioned my employer, UBS was also the place where I had my first interaction and contact to Toastmasters. I joined more by incident, a club meeting of the UBS Toastmasters Club in Singapore. I did attend a few sessions, but at that time, I didn't feel that I had the time to join the club. But later on, when I came back to Switzerland, approximately 10 years ago, I decided to become a member of the Toastmasters Club at UBS, the UBS Rhetoric Club in Zurich.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a corporate club, of course, by the sound of it, just for UBS members, employees in Zurich?
Correct. I mean, more due to logistical reasons, because prior to the pandemic, we had physical meetings only, and we are a German-speaking club. So naturally, this boils it down basically to UBS employees working in a centrally located office.
Okay.
But
wow. Interesting.
There are
And
more. Excuse me.
How big is your club? Sorry, I interrupted you as well.
So, our club is we reached again 20 members last year. We had a kind of a difficult situation caused by the pandemic situation where people didn't want to join, but we managed to turn around. We are now more than 20 members and running on a quite steady basis.
Great.
And more on the UBS Toastmasters Club. So there are more clubs. So we have only in Zurich we have 4 different Toastmaster clubs within the UBS world, and there are more globally. We have clubs in India, Hong Kong, Singapore, the US. So I would say, I guess, more than 10 different clubs within the UBS world.
Wow, that's amazing. And 4 of which you said are just in Switzerland. So that's pretty amazing. Wow. I would have to find out, maybe globally, contact Toastmasters. Maybe UBS is one of the highest number of international clubs that exist in Toastmasters, which is perhaps quite an honor, or at least knowing that you mentioned Singapore, You mentioned Zurich, other locations. If you were to be moved again in your company, potentially there's already a club there for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
wonderful, wonderful.
and yeah, that's a nice feature, and
Yeah,
also that the company supports the clubs with infrastructure and things like that.
yeah. And I'd love to hear a little bit about, I saw on LinkedIn when we connected, and I've put it here, that you're also a DTM. So
Yes.
tell us a bit more about your DTM story. And again, thinking about how we can inspire all of our Toastmasters across the district to go for the
Mhm.
DTM that you have received.
Yes, I'm happy to do so. And I have to mention that I became a DTM in the legacy
Hmm.
system, really
Yeah.
on the final deadline. I
Yes.
received my award in June 2021.
Okay.
And I think the program
The
closed
cutoff
then
was the
on
first of
June
July.
30th,
It was.
2021. Correct.
Yeah. Wow.
And I really owe a big thank you to my mentor
Hmm.
within our club who pushed me to really start, even if it was on really on basically on a short time to really go for the Toastmasters.
Hmm.
Because when I joined Toastmasters, I always enjoyed the the presentations track and the speeches track,
Hmm.
but I somehow ignored or did not really put a lot of effort on the leadership track.
Okay.
Probably also because I thought that I've always been a line manager within UBS, and the project manager. So I thought I knew already a lot about leadership.
Hmm. Hmm.
And but what I realized then when really embarking on the track for the DTM, I learned a lot during my year as area director.
Hmm.
And really what stands out looking back is the friendship I could make in that role, and how the fellow Toastmasters from clubs that I even didn't know that they exist, but those Toastmasters, they are really eager to support you and to enable this journey to the DTM. So
Yeah.
that's fantastic. And
Yeah.
if I look now back on this track and this journey, I'm really glad and thankful for the support from different Toastmasters that I
Mhm.
got to
Yeah.
become a DTM finally.
Yeah, congratulations. And I know it's in your LinkedIn profile. So I also saw there that you're a banker with UBS, obviously. So
Correct?
tell me a bit more about that relationship. How you mentioned being a line manager. You're also, you learned volunteering, I guess, leadership skills through a volunteer organization. So maybe there's been some transfer or some backwards and forwards, some things you learned as a line manager that helped your Toastmasters experience, and maybe some things as a Toastmaster that helped your line manager experience.
Yeah, probably. Of course, this is interrelated. I think
Hmm.
what I learned from the Toastmasters world that I still apply and I can apply in the world as a banker and as a person responsible for a team is the feedback culture.
Okay.
So to take up feedback and observations immediately,
Hmm.
and to also give this feedback. Of course, not openly as we do it in the Toastmasters world, but bilaterally. But I think the important thing is that you should act upon your observations and provide an immediate feedback. That's something
Wonderful.
I took away from the Toastmasters world.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds
On
great.
the other side, of course, having some experience in the corporate world, that helped me a lot to take on different roles in the executive team of the Toastmasters Club, and
Mm.
also later when I took over the role as area director.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, certainly many people see that parallel. So that's wonderful that you're still utilizing skills in both ways. So thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Um, I'd love to learn a bit of Romansh. If there's something that you can teach me and teach everyone else who's watching as well. I mean, I heard a version of Buonasera, very similar to Italian before, but I assume that
Yes,
in this
correct. So
context. So, um, Yeah,
Buonasera is very similar to buonasera,
I see.
like in Italian.
Buonasera. Buonasera. Yeah.
Buonasera, correct.
Okay. Wonderful.
Could I teach you? So I could say buonasera, io son il Remo. I
Yelsun.
io son
Yeah.
I am Remo.
Okay. And how would I say David? David is David?
David.
David. Okay.
Yes.
So buonasera. What was the next word?
Io son
Yelsun David.
David. Great.
Okay.
Bravo.
Buonasera. Yelsun David.
Yeah.
Nice.
Then I could say eu abitescel a Vienna.
Ah,
Eu
eu
habitescel
abiteshu.
habitescel
Abiteshel. Okay.
a
Abiteshel. A
Vienna.
a Vienna. So I am living in Vienna.
Correct.
Ah, okay. How do we say, for instance, yes and no?
Yes is je
Je
and no is na.
is na. Okay. Je or na. I like that.
Correct. Correct.
Wonderful. Great. Great. I mean, again, it's always lovely to think, perhaps one day we could have in District 109 a Romansh club, or maybe other Romansh speakers, as we put the call out before, to share with you some experiences. It would be amazing because we have many different languages, as we know, official ones, but also dialects and other smaller language. There's your daughter, one of your daughters.
I'm hijacked
Welcome.
by the daughter. So
Yeah.
she has a Romansh name. Her name is Gerina.
Jarina.
Gerina,
Beautiful. Welcome. You're on YouTube, Jarina.
she has to go to bed now.
Just to go to bed. My son too. Yeah. Well, how do we say good night?
Buona noche, Gerina.
Buona
Buona
noche.
noche.
Buona noche, Jarina.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us, Remo. So I'm realizing it's also bedtime for many kids across our district. So let me ask you, are you planning on a second DTM? What's your journey now within the Toastmasters experience that maybe you could share with us?
To be open, at the moment, I'm a little bit exhausted from from the journey to DTM, and
Yes.
also a year up to June last year, I was acting as the president of our club.
Mm-hmm.
I took over the club in a difficult situation, as I already mentioned before. We were like, we lacked members, we lacked engagement in club meetings, and so I saw it as my role, and also since I owed the club a lot, because the club made it possible for me to become a Toastmaster or a DTM.
Yeah.
I thought I owe the club to manage now this turnaround,
Yes.
which we as a leadership team managed successfully. We stabilized the club. We reached 20 members again. But after that journey, I felt a little bit exhausted. So at the moment, I join club meetings, yes. On an irregular basis, but I have not yet set a new goal for now.
That's okay. Fair enough.
I'm sure it will come at some point, but for now that's good as it is.
Yeah. And let's use this moment. It just occurred to me that potentially, across UBS, there are others who are thinking about joining Toastmasters. So if I'm a young employee at UBS, maybe in Zurich, maybe one of the 4 clubs, and I think about your club, what could your club offer me in terms of its culture or the members, or just, the good parts about your club that could be inspiring for me to think about joining?
I think like every Toastmasters club, I mean, what we can offer is really an environment where you can learn a lot on becoming better at speaking, at public speaking on one hand, but also where you can start to take over certain leadership roles, and especially for younger employees who have still a way to go to become line manager, that club could offer here some entry points. And I think the other advantage of being a member of a corporate club is that you meet people from different departments, be it sales, be it operations, be it in a risk area. And this is always good to have a good network in a large corporate.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
the last thing, of course, all these people that are currently active members of the club, they really live for Toastmasters, be it for a few years, but maybe even for a decade, because they really believe in Toastmasters. And that's the basis also to establish good friendships.
Yeah, wonderful. So really, I'm hearing at UBS, but also any other corporate club, a real nice chance to network, to meet different
Correct.
people, of course, grow in your professional experience, but really expanding your network to a point where it might work professionally for you to be able to call on someone or be mentored by someone or just know people around the organization. Because I'm sure it's a big organization in Switzerland if it's the headquarters for UBS globally. And so there may be many people who could take advantage of, as you've said, you've developed and become a DTM and being able to utilize that in your life. So that's really fantastic. Great. Now, I'll let you wrap it up with your family there. So any last words you'd like to share with us, Toastmaster Remo, about anything at all?
Yes, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity you gave me to be part of your breaking news. And I think I would close with a few words in Romansh. Basically, Javižele vus tots in a biala sera, in bitems a plein success and Toastmasters. Adieu prendelos a moje feia, leggerina, a mettere lentelich. So basically what I said is I wish you a lot of success and fun within your Toastmasters club. And I will now focus on getting my daughter Gerina into bed.
Exactly. Well, wonderful. Thank you for this time of the day. We look forward
and
to
apologies that she broke here into the session, but you took it
no problem.
very professionally as we learn it in Toastmasters.
Yeah. And look, Toastmasters is family friendly. Of course, you know, we all have lives. We all have things that we do. And of course, in the virtual environments, our kids are growing up. I have a green screen, so they know to stay away. But my 10-year-old, his bedroom's right here too. So he's ready for bed. And I think that's a beautiful thing, Remo. So thank you again, Remo. I'll let you get to your family. Have a good evening, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, David. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. So there you see a wonderful example of a distinguished Toastmaster Remo there, who's also shared his experiences of the Romansh language. And I hope that we could see more speakers of that language in the future coming together. Maybe there's a small conference or a meeting. So let's round out tonight's breaking news, again, as always, with a little bit of weather. So in Thessaloniki, it's going to be 15 tomorrow and sunny and cloudy. In Ankara, showers. It looks like maybe hail there as well, 4 degrees. In Jerusalem, we see 23 and it is sunny and a little bit cloudy there. And I also see a spelling mistake. I do apologize for those in Jerusalem. Ljubljana, 15, sunny and cloudy. Nicosia, 19, thunder, lightning. It looks like rain. It's going to be not so nice weather in Nicosia tomorrow. In Florence, 21, sunny and cloudy. And in Sofia, 12, sunny and cloudy. Birkirkara, 18 and sunny. That's where I'd like to be perhaps tomorrow. Innsbruck, sunny and cloudy, 17. And Geneva, 20 degrees, sunny and cloudy. So if you do have any news and you'd like to let us know, please contact us at d109prm@gmail.com. It really is our intention to bring the news of the district. So maybe your club is celebrating success. Perhaps you have someone like Remo who's a champion of your club and you'd like to highlight them and offer them the chance to share their story. We are open to content across the district to really inspire all of our Toastmasters members. So thank you from wherever you are right now. If you are watching on, it's wonderful to see you, those who have joined tonight. Or if you're watching this afterwards, please feel free to drop some comments, things that resonate with you and that you'd like to see here with us in the future. Otherwise, I wish you a nice night and I'll see you soon.